Dad was.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Town of Port Royal Council Workshop for July. Our first item tonight is the Low Country Pride. Angela Wright, come forward.
Hi, I'm Angela Wright with Low Country Pride. We're a local nonprofit that serves the LGBT community here in Beaufort County. We provide support groups and social events, and yearly we do an annual Pride Parade and festival. We've typically done that in Bluffton in the past, but when we were looking for sponsors last year, we found that we had a lot more people on this side of the river who were interested in sponsoring us. So we decided to try to move our festival here for this year. So we've been working with Brooke to do our festival over at Live Oaks Park, November 18th. We already have 9 vendors committed, 7 nonprofits, and I think 2 or 3 food trucks. So we already have a good bit of buy-in. And I just kind of wanted to come tonight and thank you for letting us be a part of this and, hold our event here. We have a lot of people really excited that it's going to be in Port Royal for once. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you coming by and telling us what's going on. Staff, no issues. We're set and ready to go. Park is already locked in and good. It's a great place for a festival, so I'm sure you'll enjoy that. The date was the 18th of November?
November 18th, yes.
November 18th. That's good. Council, questions about it?
I'd like to hear a little bit more. Tell us about the festival. Tell us what you're going to do. And
So
planned.
typically we have vendors, we have food trucks, we usually have a bounce house for the kids and face painting. We have a DJ playing music. It's an all ages thing. It's really just it's pretty family oriented. It's just an event to celebrate Pride. We do it in November because it's too hot in June. So our first year we did it in June and everyone was passing out from the heat. So we decided to move it to November. So this will be I think it's our 4th event. We started in 2019. Obviously in 2020 we weren't able to do an event. We did like a drive-through parade. So.
What are the times?
The times, so we're still kind of hammering that out. We don't want to do it for too long, obviously. I think what we're kind of looking at is 11 to 12 for the parade, so line up at 10:30, and then to do the actual event from about 12 to 4 or 12 to 5. We're kind of still hammering out what we want to do with that.
Okay.
And I'm working on a meeting right now with Captain Massey to kind of work through that.
You said parade. Where would the parade route be?
So Brooke and I have kind of looked at it. We haven't quite. I think that's why we have to have the meeting to talk.
It's
Yeah.
in November. We're still working on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be like a general rectangle. So we'll go down from Live Oaks, down Paris Avenue, and then back around is what we're thinking.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'll say just,
Look forward to it.
Still working on it.
if you got any questions, just Brooks, she's done many festivals.
Yes,
She
yes, she's
knows
been
what
a great
doing.
help.
Queen.
Yeah, so
She's
Yeah.
good with that.
lean on her.
All right.
It's good, and we need a festival towards the winter time. We don't have many
We have
winter
a lot of
festivals.
summer and spring festivals.
Yep, we're looking forward to it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming by. Next item of business is a presentation by Amanda Zeichman on the Port Royal Library update. And thank you for
thank
coming.
you.
Thank you
Working with
for
the
coming.
schedule, I think moving it made sense.
Oh, I appreciate that. First, thank you for the invitation, and I've not been before you in my role. I've played music downtown with my rock band, but as a librarian, that's my real job. So,
Who's your band?
the Brewer Band.
Okay.
Known.
All right.
Is Peter Scaly on that?
So obviously I'm not a stranger to a microphone, but my real job is to be your library director for Beaufort County Library. And so as such, I am in charge of the operations of our 5 existing locations. If you could advance to the next slide. Thank you. Perfect. We have one in downtown Beaufort, in Bluffton, Hilton Head, Lobico, and St. Helena. In the county's comprehensive plan, there are 2 additional desired locations in Pritchardville and Burton. Those have been over 10 years in the making. And then now why I'm before you tonight is to talk to you about the Port Royal Library, which was a gift to me. Certainly not something that I expected to get to do, but I'm proud to be able to be here tonight to share with you what we have been working on. So without further ado, that is the building that you know as 1408 Paris Avenue. It's just a little around 2,500 square feet, so you know it's not going to be our largest library, but we're certainly blessed to be able to take over this vacant county-owned facility. So let me walk you through a little bit of history for you and also anybody else that might be just coming into, hey, we're getting a library in Port Royal. This all started in September of last year. Just under 12 months ago, my library board, who I report to and who governs the operations of me as the library director, they approved exploring the possibility of providing library service at a vacant county-owned building in Port Royal, 1408 Paris Avenue. Fast forward 1 month after that, in October, you had an announcement from Beaufort County Administration saying that they were going to explore opening up a Port Royal library at 1408 Paris Avenue. And then fast forward to March of this year, our county council did a budget amendment to pay for the needed construction, renovation, and the upstart of the Port Royal Library, which brings us to right now, our time frame of April, and even as of today, our capital improvement projects department, headed by Eric Larson. Mark Sutton, you may know as a Port Royal guy. They're working very hard with a noted architecture firm for libraries, this McMillan Pasden Smith, and they're working to finalize those plans and get the project out to bid. So that's where we are right now. So the biggest question that I get, and likely what you are getting to, is, so what can we expect? I'd love to be able to stand here tonight and say, hey, it's going to open on this day, mark your calendars. We're not there yet. It's still with Capital Improvement Projects Department, and as you know, even the most simplest projects can incur some sort of a delay or unforeseen challenge. But here's what I'm trying to plan for. We want to maximize every square foot of that space, and we want to be able to provide state-of-the-art library service like we do at the other existing locations. So within that 2,500 square feet, these are the things that we're trying to prioritize. We will have a multi-purpose room, so probably a little bit, about half the size of this room. There's a place there for book clubs, story times, different types of meetings. We also make those meetings available to the public for reservation. We're also trying to provide a small or a group study room, so a place for 1 or 2 people to get together, or one person that might want a quiet space. We're trying to carve out a little nook for that. It will have a browsable collection of books and DVDs, so these will probably be the most hot and popular titles. With that floor space, there's not a lot to hold all of James Patterson's books or all of a certain author's books. We're going to try to have the most popular and things that people are looking for. It will have a children's section as well. We will bring into it our free fax scan email service. So if you haven't visited a Beaufort County library, every one of our locations has a kiosk where you can fax or scan or email a document for free. It will also translate that into all sorts of languages, and even Klingon. So just a little known fact about your library. We will have free Wi-Fi throughout the building, as well as a selection of public computers available for people to use if they don't have their own device. And we will have a copier station as well. So we're trying to fit within that floor plan all of the services that you've come to know and expect from your Beaufort County Library, even with the smaller footprint there. But I think we're going to love it. I think you're going to love it, and we're happy to come to Port Royal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. I guess, obviously, with the elementary school right down the road, I guess you're already thinking in some ways, how do we get kids back involved in the library and what could be done there? I know the Port Royal Elementary loves to walk their kids to different things going on, and this is going to be another great opportunity to have that interaction with the school system there as well. So we're excited for that, and I'm excited for the kids section.
Yeah, I had, in fact, when this was announced back in last year, latter part of last year, there was one of our residents, and she came up to me and said that she wanted to volunteer her time and her services. I left her card at home, but are you all seeking she has experience in libraries, she said. So-
Sure, we are often asked that question. People want to donate their time towards our libraries in various different ways. And so there is a process to do that. And so they can contact us to get started in that. We won't be ready yet to
Right.
put them to work in the library yet, but we can certainly let them know how to get started.
I have to find her card, I don't know where it's so.
Council,
Any-
questions?
I think it's great. To have a service like that, I like the fax, the computer, the translation service, the mayor himself personally likes the
I
Klingon.
do like Klingon.
Yeah, he likes
A little
that,
bit
so
of
when his ears kind of got pointed a little bit and perked up because he heard that. But I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
No, looking forward to it.
thank y'all for doing.
Well, let us know if there's anything we can do, especially as it goes before the committees at the county. We all understand how things like that can sometimes take turns. We will be there to support. Anything you need from us, please let us know.
We appreciate your support.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in. Van,
All right.
council briefing.
Council briefing. First item is the redevelopment commission. Vaughn Keon was elected chair. Dick Stewart will continue to serve as vice chair, and Stephen Loderick is replacing Vaughn as the secretary. There wasn't a whole lot of meat on the bone at the last meeting. They kind of went through that, kind of some reorganizational efforts. They did want staff to pursue the signage, and so we'll make arrangements for that to happen. The second item is the Spanish Moss Trail. I don't know if you wanted to read something out.
Yes, well, a couple of things on the Spanish Moss Trail. I guess we've heard that potentially may go out to bid across Reboat Road in August, which would be October bid led by the county then. So it's moving, the steps are moving along. But Van received a letter today, and I'm going to read this letter to you. Dear Mr. Willis, the South Carolina Department of Transportation is pleased to inform you that the town of Port Royal and your application for funding for the above referenced project has been approved. As required, $1,150,240 of the Federal Transportation Alternative Funds has been granted to the town of Port Royal for the Spanish Moss Trail from where it's going to end, it's being bid by the county now, are at about Ritter Circle, and connecting it to Fish Camp. So we've got $1.1 million. Got that today. That is hot off the presses.
Wow.
Late this afternoon. Van, thank you and staff for your diligence. We asked you to go after grants. I've been asking you, you've been going after grants, and we got another one.
Thank
So
you.
now we've got work to do with Safe Harbor and the business, because this is right through the Bluff neighborhood.
Yep.
So we've got work to do, and we're ready to do that and get it done, and
So it won't deviate, where it ends, currently ends straight through connecting. to-
some route through to connect to where you built, and former councils built it in front of Fish Camp. Get it connected.
And this is
Well,
relief for the TIF, because this was part of the infrastructure that was going to be constructed and underwritten by that, so this helps offset some of the costs of that.
Yeah, so then that allows us to spend tip dollars on the parks on this end. So that's, money we would have spent out of the tip to build this, now we can switch that and turn that into some parks.
Great.
So this is
But we
good
don't know,
news.
I mean, I know it's going down in front of Fish Camp, but we don't know where it actually begins or ends.
Right.
Do
It
we?
ends,
We
the
think
section that's being built right now goes to 15th or Ritter Circle, and it connects from there all the way through to Fish Camp.
Okay. Is the Fish Camp where the Spanish Moss Trail
That's where it
The
starts.
section we already built with no help. from
begins?
anybody
Is that where?
That is not the beginning. That is still an
Okay.
intermediate point.
Okay.
The-
That's what I,
The ultimate beginning of the trail is the boardwalk.
thank you, okay. That's what I was
That,
thinking.
that's the goal, is to get to the boardwalk. Obviously, there's
Well, there is a section right now where the gate is.
there are different ways that can be done at this
Right.
point with what's happening with Safe Harbor, but it'll end up out on the road at some point probably, and we'll figure out how we get it.
But this brings it to the section that was put into play put in place a few years ago, right there at Fish
Fish
Camp.
Camp.
Puts it ability for 3 of us to ride our bicycles to Fish Camp
That's right,
for dinner.
that's right.
So come
Or
across,
Shell Ring.
come across Reboat Road, or Shell Ring, come across Reboat Road and do it, so.
Very nice.
But
Good
again,
job.
Van, thank you and staff, I know grants are difficult. First of all, to get the
now.
applications in and then get awarded, and then they're just as hard to administer on the other end. But it's a great way for this town to keep moving this project along. And I guess you'll notify Spanish Moss Trail
Yeah,
friends tomorrow?
absolutely.
Great,
That's
fantastic.
awesome news.
Just real update on, Brooke and I met with ATM to discuss the demolition of the existing shrimp dock and its potential replacement. Demo is included in the current permit for the marina that's held by Safe Harbor, so we're going to address that initially. I've been talking to our marine contractor, then we'll have to regroup, because the backwards F, to be quite honest with you, is not the best configuration for a shrimp boat. Anybody that's driven a boat realizes that you use the tide to kind of do that, and if you've got a dead end, it's just not the best scenario. So we're talking with them, but there's some other things we have to work out. We are also, I jumped over Safe Harbor just a little bit. We're working on the safe survey work for Lot G and the former beer garden. I do have some images which I will provide to y'all, because we're talking about some additional swaps. I just wanted to give you an update on that progress. We're working on some the title issues relative to all of that property. The title search has been ordered, surveys have been ordered. It's just all about time. So all this are coming together. I did talk to our maritime lawyer today. So basically, the entire saga with the shrimp boats is pretty much over. He's going to come down and take a picture, because he has before a picture of all the boats, and he wants a picture with all the boats gone. And then we'll start rebuilding the dock and invite the boats back. So pretty excited. Nice segue into what else is going down there right now. Obviously, Nick has been partnering with Craig Reeves on the relocation of the landing craft. It's proving to be a little bit more difficult than they anticipated. It has turtled several times, has sunk 2 or 3 times as they've tried to move it. It's currently sunk near the boat that hit in the middle of the river prior to Water Festival last year, so it's adjacent to it. DNR is very aware of it. They are going to make an effort to right it and drag it out of here. I just wanted to brief y'all as best I could on that. So, wow. Yeah, we all knew that would kind of be an issue, but anyways. We're still, we'll give y'all a report. I just want to touch lightly on the tree ordinance thing. Noah's working on a report on its potential impact, which I'll pass along. I do want to have a session with our attorneys to kind of discuss with y'all the implications of what we're dealing with. Building inspection, Brooke and I are evaluating a couple options relative to Mike's departure. Mike is going to be leaving a little later than we anticipated, so his time is going to be here. He's going to be with us a little bit longer, but we have a private option plus the potential option of extending that contract with, or expanding the contract with the City of Beaufort until we can get somebody permanently in place to serve as a building official as well as do residential inspections. So that's kind of a moving target, but we're still working on it. Second, Florida Police Department, it's moving slower than we want. We're still dealing with some mechanical drawing issues that we need to get from the architects, plus they hit us with some changes to that, so we are having some discussions with them. So a little bit more difficult to talk about than anticipated. CDBG project, Royal Palm Sewer. We're still awaiting connectivity. We've got some drawings that are necessary from our side. Reflect some as-built information that BJWSA needs, and so we're working on nailing down those timelines. But I talked to Michael today. He felt like it would probably be a couple weeks. It's kind of the language that I heard from him today. So he's got some responsibilities he needs to address, and Beaufort Jasper will hopefully respond in kind. So.
Couple weeks to like the end of July completion. Is that what you're saying? Potentially. I mean,
All construction is complete, it's closeout packages.
Yeah, it's all closed out. Yeah, construction.
To get the permit to operate from DDOT.
gotcha.
Paris Avenue project, just wanted to make y'all aware of the July 20 the design workshop that we're hosting, so please mark that on your calendars.
Send us an invite. Have you sent us one?
We will do that, yeah.
Okay.
So LOCO, the recent topic of discussion has been growth boundaries, how they relate between municipalities, how they relate to the whatever county you're in. Obviously, we're including Jasper County in these discussions now. We discussed the city and town's relationship due to the passage of the Northern Regional Plan and how we've abided by the growth boundary between the two municipalities, as well as respecting that growth boundary as it relates to unincorporated areas. And it's worked very well for us in the northern part of the county. I think they're attempting to do something very similar in the south. So we've got staff that have been volunteered to participate in the subcommittee to kind of handle those discussions. Obviously, that's the planning staff. But that is the primary focus of SoLoco. The next month's meeting will be solely on the housing efforts. So once we have that meeting, I'll give you an update on that. Personnel, as I mentioned, we're working on replacement building inspector. We've got another administrative person we're adding, and we're also attempting to add another person to public works. So Legal, we did address the one Burton lawsuit that we had direction from relative to the assessed value versus taxable value, so that has been squared away, and we do have an appellant lawyer in place to deal with the other one, so I'll keep you abreast of any changes, if there's any scheduling there. Reimagine Rebo, I know several of you, or at least a couple of you, participated in the workshops that they had last week. You know, obviously our focus through staff and through y'all attending was to make sure that they're very aware of the TOOL study and the Arnett Muldrow study, and make sure that anything that happens along Rebo reflects the plans that we've invested significantly in for the last few years to kind of guide the way we see Rebo engaged. And I know there's been some discussion that, you know, the people that don't live in Port Royal just want to see it continue as a thoroughfare so they can get as quickly as possible from Ladies Island over to Bluffton Hilton Head, and that's not our mission, and so we want to make sure that's understood completely. Penny sales tax, I have a meeting scheduled with Jared Fralix and the City of Beaufort to discuss how this process is going to move forward. There will need to be some representation that's going to represent both Beaufort and Port Royal in this process, and we're working on an individual, hopefully, that will do that. Because the way it's set up, it's there are 3 people on the commission or committee, whatever you want to call it, that represent municipalities. Obviously, there are more than 3 municipalities in Beaufort County, so we've got to work together with Beaufort on that representation.
Yeah, I'll add to that. I met with the City of Beaufort, Stephen, and we've agreed on, we each forwarded a name that we would talk with, see if they were willing to serve. And we, Town of Port Royal representative is the lead right now, and Stephen's willing to support that. We'll know him well. Let's waiting to hear back from him that he's good, and we're gonna push really hard that one of the 3 representatives come from north of the Broad municipalities. There's no guarantees that that's gonna occur, but that's what we're both working towards. So we felt it was better to have a kind of a joint and both be pushing the same person.
Roger that.
All right, just 4th of July, I think overall, logistically, the event went well. Obviously, we had a little bit of rain in the middle, which was more or less a blessing in disguise. It was miserably hot yesterday, so that kind of cooled things off. I think, you know, we met this morning to discuss potential improvements. I think we can do some things with signage to maybe make people more aware of the handicap parking spaces. I also think we need to be utilizing some of the space available beyond the entryway into Sands for parking, so that the people don't have to walk so extremely far. You have some people that are just coming for the day to use the beach, and that's, in that heat, it's too much. And so I think we need to work on that. We had a discussion about maybe being able to utilize it. I know it might be a challenge as they exit, but if you take the risk of parking there, you need to understand that you're going to be there for quite some time.
40 to 45 minutes to get out if you park in there, but that's fine.
Yeah, and I think we've got it fleshed out pretty good. We kept one lane onto Rebo continuously running, and just took some time to filter out, but it was much better than last year.
It's great.
They're great. They did
Very good.
and shuttling
Police
people
department
back and
for that.
forth was pretty good too.
Yeah, and I want to thank you and the other residents that shuttled people
Yeah.
back and forth. I know you did it for hours, and we had a couple of residents with their own golf carts that were shuttling people down the road, and maybe next year
And
we'll
I was
do a
across the
little,
street directing them down in front of Fish Camp out of here.
we'll do a little call for golf carts to help move people around
Yeah, it
next
was
year.
very nice. I mean, I've started, but then Barbara Berry was out. And,
Yeah,
I
thank
saw,
you, Barbara.
Raleigh Randall, he was out. A few others that started, everybody started picking up. It was good.
Yeah.
But while we're on that also, to have the number of people that came into this town, our Public Works Department, you know, I went out there earlier today and I looked as I was driving, and it appeared as if nothing happened.
Yep.
But also with law enforcement, with the number of cars, we are blessed not to have had one accident.
And kudos to our, it was us
Don't
alone.
tell us there was,
She
okay,
said
you
two.
stole like that.
There were no other agencies involved in the
Yeah.
management of the,
Right.
Completely our staff.
We did have 2 accidents.
Two.
One took out a stop sign, and the other one took out part of the light trailer.
Okay, but no, okay, so property damage, that's it.
and I personally witnessed the stop sign.
Property damage, okay, but
And
still,
it happened at
no
11:30,
vehicular.
so it was.
But Chief, you,
No
But
injury.
your team, again, you know, from
But-
start to finish.
yeah, both chiefs, your staff that you
Yes,
assigned
Derek
to
and crew,
this,
yes.
and the volunteers, it was great. It was
And
great.
there
Yeah, and they had that flow
No other
going
community
in.
service, no other,
It was awesome. Your people down there, Chief,
I mean, there were people
had
from all over.
water. I was one that had to go up and say, give me a bottle of water, please, because I'm fixing to fast.
Found my debit card
But
that
they
I
were
dropped.
awesome. I mean, everybody was
That
awesome.
was you in the police
They
report.
found my debit card that I dropped.
And then the last item I have is Park and Recreation Commission. This is my discussion we can
Let
have
me say
later.
one thing.
Yeah.
And the guy that stepped up to do the music,
Oh,
Kevin,
yeah.
Oh,
that was
yes,
just
that's awesome.
incredible. We need to get him
Kevin
back
Graves.
for something, or
Kevin
we need to,
Graves.
we need
Kevin
to do
was
something
awesome,
nice for
man.
him.
Kevin Graves,
And
we
he-
can't thank him
Get
enough.
part to a local
He
restaurant or
engaged the
something.
crowd too.
He's
So
good.
that's good, yes.
Yes, he did.
We might
We
want to
found-
consider next year having a DJ as well as some bands at some
Good
point.
time.
portion.
Yeah,
Good
He did a
backup.
really good
A
job.
last minute back.
but we should do something for him.
Well, yeah,
because
well
that
done
was
on that.
awesome.
That was a good job. Kevin?
No, he was great. He's with JC's, I'm not sure what his position is with him, but I know he's with the local.
He did a good job.
Yes,
He was on it, yeah.
Yes, it was.
he definitely was that.
And the last item is Parks and Recreation Commission. We're down to basically 2 members. And we need to consider the future. I don't want to get too depth of the discussion. I just want to put it on the radar right now to start thinking about whether.
Let's just put it on next month's next month's workshop to really to take a look at that.
That's all I have.
Let's get out the, any documents we have on initiating the Park and Rec and circulate that to us before next month and take a look at that and see what we want to do.
And the only other item we have for next month is a proclamation on the Gullah Geechee Nation appreciation.
Oh, yeah, Queen.
That's it.
Well, thank you. I
Yeah.
do have, I'm sure the rest of you, I know we all kind of get the same emails, and some are from the same people, some are from different people to individual. But in the last month, I have received a lot on speeding again. It seems like that subject comes up, we know it goes, it ebbs and tide, but it has come up an awful lot in the last month again. Same traditional streets as it's always been, Edinburgh is always on that list. Paris Avenue is on the list many, many times. It is this area, it is not, out. I think we do the best we can do. I'm not sure there's much more that we can do. I know that the,
Well, y'all are aware that once we resurface, we will install the speed bumps.
Yes.
So until we do that, it's gonna have to be directed patrols only.
I know it's directed
interesting because
patrol.
when they start speeding and I stop and I start looking at them, you can see the deceleration.
They
I
definitely
don't have to just turn around and look, and then they're well aware.
I've been told I'm number 1 a lot.
Well, I know on the other side of Rubel, where the sewer project has been going on, there's been a lot of, it's fresh asphalt, so we're getting some speeders over there, just kind of checking it out, but I'm out there taking pictures.
Yeah, I think it's something, and we've talked about Paris Avenue a few times. We talked about our old speed limit, 21 and a half, is that right? Was that what it was?
21 and a half.
21 and a half, but recently I was sent a letter, and I got the letter from the AMVETS. And this letter brought some attention to some things that I did not know. And right now, 22 veterans a day commit suicide. And we have an AMVET person here, is that number still right?
It's actually a little low.
Okay, it's about 22 vets a day. And I wonder if we shouldn't consider redoing that speed limit on Paris Avenue again, something a little bit unusual, in recognition of what's happening with our vets and the help that they need.
Yeah, that'd be
So,
good.
something to think about, and let's, plan on this, talk about this, and let's talk next month and see if we don't want to ask the town to do something like that. I found
I
that,
like that, Jeff.
I found that very interesting, and we're a military town, and after yesterday's event and everything that happened again, it brought it back to my attention, and I just, let's spend a month thinking about it. Or if everybody's comfortable with it, we can do something next week. I mean, as simple as that.
What are you
I'm thinking Paris Avenue, Rebo Road, right to the end, redo that speed limit, and then figure out some signage and say why we did 22 miles an hour.
heightened awareness that,
The height and awareness of our vets that are committing suicide, and let's take care of them and help them in any way we can. And we can certainly do that, and at whatever point we finish the Paris Avenue redesign, we can decide what the final speed limit's gonna be.
I like that.
Let's just think about it, toss it around, let's pass on some information and go from
That's a
there.
lot, that was nice.
That's a great idea.
So, I'll open it up to public comment. Anybody have any?
I think it's great.
Thank you. If not, council, any comments? Anything else you'd like to discuss?
Don't we have to go?
Van, I
We have nothing on next month's agenda. The only thing we had is the proclamation. That's what,
Oh,
that's
wow.
it.
I had one of the residents, and I walk every day, and one of the residents here on 7th Street stopped me and had a lengthy conversation. but she wants to know, are they the only street on 7th Street that doesn't have a street sign? I'm sure you may have heard of
Seventh
it.
doesn't have a street sign? I'm sure Public Works will
Probably
take
because
care
there's
of
no
that.
convenient place to put it.
You're right, 'cause I looked, something across the street, but it
Yeah.
doesn't say 7, I'm right here on the corner.
Right, I mean,
But I
that's
mean,
why.
she nailed me on that,
Take a look at it, get a street sign. Anything else?
Oh, I did leave something out that might be important.
Come back up. Only because people can see you
Yeah.
then.
I did leave out, we will have alcohol sales, beer and wine, and we're actually coordinating with the Low Country J.C.'s to do that. So they're going to get the licensing to do it, they'll sell it, and then we're splitting our profits 50/50.
and Mary Beth
so,
will sample.
Yeah. But I didn't know if that was
No,
maybe an
no,
important
we
piece to
understand.
add.
We're good.
Yeah.
Very normal for festivals and ballparks. Hearing
Thanks,
nothing
Gary.
else, we'll adjourn. Thank you.